The Iron Man movie is one of the best superhero movies ever created. Hell, it's one of the best movies ever made, period. So the game, based on the movie, has to be something pretty great, right? Yeah, no. This is one of the worst games I've ever played. I'm just gonna say this now, I'm sorry for the gameplay you're about to watch. Definitely feel free to click off this video at any point. I totally understand. Alright, here we go. Let's just start with the story. The game, for the most part, tries to follow the movie, but it can't even do that right. When the Iron Man movie starts, you're greeted by Tony Stark cracking jokes with AC/DC playing in the background, and even though an explosion happens a few minutes later and he gets captured, you already get a sense of what kind of character he is. In the game, you start off already captured, and the first Iron Man suit is basically already made. Not only is this such a boring opener, but if you didn't watch the movie, you would literally have no idea of what's going on. Sure, it technically throws you into the action right at the start, but you get no sense of who the characters are. And as the game progresses, you never really do. Robert Downey Jr. voices Tony Stark in this game, and he's actually alright for the little time he's in the game. Sure, he may be phoning it in a bit, but it still works just because we all know his voice. And yeah, you may have noticed I said Tony Stark and not Iron Man, and that's because for some reason they decided to have someone else play Iron Man. And this is the voice you hear instead.
I don't do nap time, Ensign. Damn, I should make a career out of this.
Weapons cache destroyed. 2 remaining.
Look at that weaponry. I remember making the first prototype.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't even sound close to Robert Downey Jr. If anything, it sounds like a bad Han Solo impression. But don't worry, you only had to hear this for about 90% of the game. And don't even get me started about Jarvis. He just repeats the same old dialogue over and over. He sounds like a robot. And yeah, I know, he technically is, but going back to the Iron Man movies, he has such a great and unique voice. Even though his dialogue is nothing special, Paul Bettany gave him a personality. In this game, they literally made the voice as stiff and robotic as possible. But you know what? It's a movie tie-in game, and I guess for that reason alone, some people give the story a pass. So let's talk about gameplay. It's bad. This entire game, you fly around and shoot turrets while rockets shoot back at you. I'm not kidding, that is literally every single mission in this game. Sure, there will be a boss battle from time to time, but you can just kill them by doing the same thing. Fly around and shoot them. They're not interesting in the slightest, and to be honest, by the 1 hour mark, you'll have seen everything this game has to offer in terms of gameplay. Thankfully, there is some sort of progression in this game. Every time you start a mission, there's optional objectives like kill X amount of people in X amount of time. And for completing missions and these objectives, you gain money, which you can then use to upgrade your suit. You can increase how much damage you do, how fast you can fly, how long you can fly, and things like that. Just like with any game with progression, it's nice to see your character get stronger. I just wish there would have been different abilities to unlock because again, you spend the entire game shooting rockets at turrets. And as you've been watching this gameplay, you probably noticed it's not visually pleasing either. The Punisher video game that came out 2 years before this looks better in every single way. There's just low, reused textures everywhere, the environments are all bland, and the render distance is so bad. I mean, Iron Man of all people should look decent, but even he doesn't look as good as he should. With that said though, at least you can switch your armor. I mean, the game actually has the Hulkbuster suit, which was cool to see, but it doesn't have any impact when you put it on. It's like the developers just went for the most basic ideas and never wanted to try and improve on them. I'm not kidding when I say this is one of the worst video games I've ever played. Thankfully, you can beat this game in like 5 hours, although it does feel much longer as you'll just be doing the same repetitive things over and over. And one last thing before I forget, I just want to point out how bad the sound effects in this game are. I mean, when Iron Man shoots a beam from his hand, it has a really cool sound effect in the movies. Now, compare that to this. See what I mean? It's clear that this game was just a quick cash grab and nothing more. I honestly don't recommend buying this game ever, although I really don't know why you would about like 11 years later, but you never know. Anyways, that was Iron Man the video game on the Xbox 360. Let me know in the comments down below which Marvel game I should review next. I swear, if someone says Iron Man 2, I'm gonna lose my mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.